Hello, Tons. Thank you for coming to answer our questions. To start, I would like to know, for those who still don't know, Devon, could you give us a brief introduction about the platform?
Of course. Hi, Carmen. It's my pleasure to also be here to speak with you, and I'm more than happy to provide answers to the questions you have. As for the first one, what is Devon? What are we doing exactly? So Devon is like a private lending platform for the MGL group, which main business is about constructing real estate in the residential sector. So mainly we are constructing our real estate projects in Latvia, more specifically in Riga, Jūrmala. Riga is the capital of Latvia, and well, therefore, obviously, we're focused in here. And Jūrmala is mainly because it's one of the neighboring cities and also quite dominant in the real estate market in comparison to overall Latvia. But what is Devon? Devon, yeah, is like a private lending platform through which we raise funds in order to build our projects.
So, what is Devon's current structure and ownership and the relationship with MGL Enterprise?
Well, the current structure as we have is that MGL Enterprises, of course, comes out of the top. It's the mother company for the whole group, under which we have like Rebel Modular Systems, which is like a module manufacturer, which we have within the group. Then we have the MGL Development, which mainly partakes as the main developer for those real estate projects, with basically the decisions about where to and what to construct. That's second. Third is also the ROPEX, which is mainly connected to the actual construction works. We have our specialist in-house, of course. And the fourth one, of course, is Devon. Devon is this direct lending platform, which is also the main topic we're currently having conversation about. And under Devon, we have different companies. More you can name them as project SPVs. For each specific project, we have different company placed, and those are solely owned by them.
And so, MGL, the group, previously was financing projects through State Guru, Crowdlending, Profitus, through other peer-to-peer platforms. Why to start a separate platform for that?
Well, thanks for the question. Actually, it is mainly connected to I wouldn't call them issues. I would call them challenges that we had while obtaining the financing from the Profitus Estate Group and Crowdlending. Is that mainly two things. One thing is we were limited in the size that we can raise. That's one thing. Second thing is the speed. And also the third thing, actually, it's control. And how it actually went for us is just like for the previous project, we were not able to raise the funds quickly enough. That also resulted for us to pay some late fees for the current partners we had on the other side of the business, which was mainly connected to the purchasing the land for development and so on and so forth. Also paying some invoices for the actual project designs, and, well, you name it. That actually was one of the main reasons. The second thing is also, the funds were limited, which we can raise through this way. So it's not a secret that real estate projects are often quite expensive. Well, not like expensive, but requires a lot of funds in order to be constructed. So if we're looking at like 20 plus unit residential building, we're probably looking north of 5 million euros. And for many platforms, the 5 million is like the top that you can raise through such an instrument. And that was the second reason. And the third one is, of course, the control. Through Devon, we are able to raise the funds when we need it. And of course, we cannot compare to like usual crowdfunding platforms, which have, I don't know, like 5 projects a day launched. This is not something that we can do in Devon because we tend to choose our projects carefully, and we have some internal process, internal selection process, how we select each project with which we're going to go forward. So that's that.
So right now, Devon only finance projects from MGL Group, his own group.
Yes.
But is there any plan in the future of including projects from or loans from third parties?
Well, to be completely honest, we're not planning to include any type of projects for outside party because, well, it's important to state that MGL Group's main business is in the residential construction. We acquire land plots, we build residential buildings on top of them, and mainly we sell or rent the units. And that's the main business we have, and we're not planning to move away from this. So if we would want to add third-party projects, that would mean that we are becoming something like a broker. This is not an aim for the Devon in the future.
So knowing that this is your model, what do you think are the advantage and disadvantage for investors?
The advantage here is the advantage here is also a disadvantage at the same time. So behind Devon, there's an actual business that raise the funds when there is a development project available. So in that sense, we are able to carry the risk of our projects more properly. That's one thing. Second thing is that there is, since we are so closely tied to the Devon, we are more inclined to make everything successful. We want our projects to work, and that's also one of the reasons why we do have a very careful selection process and etc. Because we are financing our own projects, therefore we have another level of scrutiny involved in here. As for the other platforms that are working solely as like crowdfunding platforms, in many cases, they just raise the funds, and once that's done, they just forget about it. But for us, it's quite different story. We have to first, of course, raise the funds as loans, mezzanine loans for our project. We also need to make sure that we repay them. We need to make sure that otherwise there will be no Devon in the future, and that's not something we want. And also at the same time, it's also a disadvantage because for Devon, the main projects come from the MGL. Of course, if MGL Group would be no more one day, of course, our intention is to remain in business for many, many years to come. That's our main business case here. But of course, it's a risk. It should also be considered, and also the interest rate that our lenders are getting also reflects that risk. So it's not like it's not the same. It's not the interest rate is not on the same level as, for example, you go to like a local bank and place a deposit. So there what you would get like something around 1 or 2% annually. That's not something we also offer for Devon. So for Devon, we go if I recall correctly, starting from 10, which is like a rental project, we go up to 15% for a selected project per annum, of course.
So before we talk more about the projects, you say that there is like a scrutiny about the projects that you publish in the platform to finance. Does that mean that you don't publish all the MGL?
Well, we had the low rent housing project, which was also developed by the MGL. This was not funded through the DEVON, mainly because the return there would not be able to make the DEVON financing work. So, of course, when we analyze the projects, we also understand what kind of sources of funding we have available. And we put everything together for each project separately. So in this case, the DEVON financing was not used for this specific project. Also, another reason is that this project was launched a bit before DEVON. Also, we had the thought about this, so therefore no. Other projects, we have one apartment building into Jurmala, which was also not financed through DEVON, but I think it was launched with other platform. So has been successfully repaid back.
So MGL projects are financed through other means as well, not just through DEVON, not just to the investors in DEVON, right? What is the usual financing structure for the project?
Well, here, a small disclaimer here. It depends on the project. It depends on the project, but if we're looking at base case plain vanilla development project, where we purchase the land, we perform the designs, and then we build, and then we sell out the units. In this case, it would be constructed, it would be put together through senior debt. Then we would add on top of it DEVON financing as a mezzanine, which would be then subordinated for the senior debt. And then as a last one, we would also add our equity. As for the percentages, it depends mainly on the percentage that we can raise through the senior debt, because that money is a lot cheaper. We can get somewhere like 5 to 7% interest for that one. And then, of course, DEVON comes as a subordinated instrument for the senior debt. But of course, since the risk is higher, the interest rate is also higher. So that's why we are around 10 to 15%. Okay, it's not going to be 10% for such a project. It's going to be higher than that. And for the DEVON financing would usually come around 30%. And lastly, our equity, or as many call it, skin in the game, we would roughly be around 10%. I would say it's not going to be lower than that. It may be adjusted for each project separately. As I said, mainly it is connected to the senior debt because it's the cheapest form of the financing we can get for the development project, and build our case around it.
So the investors on DEVON, we are funding mezzanine loans, so subordinated debt. Could you explain us a bit more about, in practice, what does that mean for investors? What are the risks for investors?
What are the risks? Okay. Here I'm going to put another disclaimer because I want to emphasize that DEVON, together with the MGL group, we're planning ahead about the costs and everything that goes along for the construction itself, and also the way how we finance those projects. So we are assessing our risks as a group together. But as to answer your question, so what it means to be subordinated, let's just say, for example, there's a case where there is a development project, which is also financed through the senior debt, some mezzanine type of instrument, and of course equity. In case there is like some insolvency issues, the first rank mortgage goes to the senior debt holders. So first, for example, let's imagine there is like a very bad case. There is no way how uh, the the construction company or the developer in this case who is taking care of the project, and there's no way how they can repay the funds back to the senior debt holders and also back to the mezzanine instrument providers. If there is no way how a developer can manage to do this, then it's going to be as follows. So the project at hand will be sold through the like public auction or something like that. And first money goes to the bank which provides the senior debt. And for example, if the funds exceed the amount of senior debt which was provided for the project, then the remaining ones then would go to the mezzanine instrument providers. And of course, if the funds recovered from this auction would be even higher than the total amount for the senior debt and mezzanine, then of course the remaining then would go back to the developer itself, as he also invested his equity or skin in the game. Then yeah, that would be the ideal scenario. Of course, sometimes there are cases when there is no chance that you can get even the funds back for the senior debt provider, and therefore, in case there is this mezzanine provider on top of that, in this case, they would not receive anything back. So, of course, there is a risk, as explained for this within this sample. Of course, there is a risk, and that's why I also put in the disclaimer beforehand. It's just like we also plan as a group ahead. We have more than one project. Business is a bit bigger than one project, and we also tend not to put all eggs in the same basket. And that's why I wanted to say that yes, it carries the risk, but as part of the MGL group, we intend to manage this risk with the instruments that we have available for us.
Because the loans on DEVON, they have a group guarantee, right? Could you explain us a bit how does that work?
And group guarantee is just, let's just say, it works in a way that we want to let know our lenders that there is an actual business behind this platform. It's not simply like we are raising funds, then funds go someplace else where God knows where, for example. Like we want to ensure lenders that there's actually projects being built. There's something tangible here. And the MGL group, as a group, intends to fulfill its obligations toward all lenders, also those who provide the senior debt, also those who provide the mezzanine, of course. The group guarantee, it's how to say it more properly. The group guarantee it says that we value our partners, especially, of course, the mezzanine loan providers for us through DEVON. Of course, we value that, and we intend to keep our obligations towards them. And the simple way how we can just explain this is also it was also through the case when there were some challenges with the crowd estate before. I think that was also public knowledge. We also made a press release, well, not like press release, but made like a public message about this. In total, we repaid almost 1.5 million back to the crowd estate lenders. There were some delays, yes. Also, it was connected to one of the key reasons why DEVON was created in the first place. But yeah, in general, the group guarantee means that we value our obligations, and there's actual business behind that can take care of that. It means basically that.
Could you explain us a bit more, because some people are not aware of that in crowd estate there was delays with MGL projects, but eventually they got paid or they are being repaid right now?
Actually, we did settle in full with CrowdState already. Yeah, there was a case connected to one of our projects. Yes. In total, the amount for which we had to settle was a bit more than $1 million. That was the original amount. But of course, there were some late fees and everything on top of that. In total, we did settle for almost €1.5 million just recently. So we reached a settlement with the crowd estate, and we paid it in full as a group, as an MGL group. So we did cover that.
Like
It
a
was
group
not
guarantee.
financed. It was not financed through DEVON. It was financed through our own funds.
Okay.
It's important to note also that, yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a bit more now about the projects. What type of projects can investors currently find on DEVON?
Currently, what we have available right now, we have basically 3 development projects that are divided in 2 groups, basically. One is like a plain vanilla, which is something that I described before, where we acquire the land, we perform the project designs, and we construct it, and then we sell them as units. Those are the 2 cases. One is on the Brīvības Street, one of the main streets in Riga, and also the second one is a bit further from the city center. It's important to note also that, yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a bit more now about the projects. What type of projects can investors currently find on DEVON?
Currently, what we have available right now, we have basically 3 development projects that are divided in 2 groups, basically. One is like a plain vanilla, which is something that I described before, where we acquire the land, we perform the project designs, and we construct it, and then we sell them as units. Those are the 2 cases. One is on the Brīvības Street, one of the main streets in Riga, and also the second one is a bit further from the city center. Also, for which we are gathering funds through DEVON. Also in the same business case here. And the third one we have is the Yugoslams village, which we are soon to purchase from the crowd estate, actually. And the case there is that this project is financed initially almost like in full through DEVON. Of course, DEVON and of course our own equity. That's what comes first. And for this specific project, there is a first rank mortgage available for our lenders. So this is quite different from the usual case that we have. And there we are planning to build. Let's take a step back. It's like a very large land plot in a very desired area. It's more than 7 hectares in total, which we are planning then to. First, we want to build the whole infrastructure there, like roads, communications, electricity, wire, plumbing, everything that is available to all the people that will purchase the land plots there. And our business case is also to divide those land plots. In total, I think, if I recall correctly, 60 land plots in total, which we are going to sell them one by one. And how we are going to repay back our lenders is basically through the way that once it's constructed, we will refinance the project with the senior debt, and in that way, we will provide we will repay back the funds in full. And after that, we will just one by one, we will sell out those land plots.
So right now, what is the average returns we can get investing in DEVON?
Average returns for the projects for development projects is around 14%. But you also have to look on. Sorry.
And the loan duration?
Duration, the tenure is around 2-3 years for the development project, yes. But also the returns can be a bit higher even due to the cashback campaigns we are also launching, and that's also something to keep an eye on when that is available.
Mm-hmm. And I saw as well that there was some projects that they were with shorter terms than 2 years, right?
Some projects, yes, but those are very specific cases, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But in usual, yeah, we are planning for like 2-3 years.
And here, when we invest, we are receiving daily interest payments. That is unusual for other platforms. Could you explain us a bit more what is when, as an investor, if I invest, what I will be getting and when?
Actually, you can choose which option you want. You can receive interest payments daily. That's how our platform works. Or you can choose to reinvest it back into the project. That's also something that you can choose. Of course, if you choose to reinvest it instead of receiving the interest, then the effective rate that you would in the end receive as an interest for your investment would be then higher than that. That works through the compound interest. And in case if you don't want to use this option, of course, there is an option that you choose to receive interest payments daily. And that's exactly how it works. Interest is credited into your account on a daily basis.
And Devon is now 1 year old. Could you explain us? 1 year is probably the most difficult year, probably the first year. Could you explain
The
us a
first
bit
year.
what happened in the first year?
In the first year, well, what happened? We launched several interesting projects. We did commission already Amber Park, which for which we are currently selling the units as we speak. The marketing process is ongoing. In total, we have almost 10 projects launched by now. We did achieve more than 10 millions provided in loans. So for that, we also shared just recently the milestone that we reached. And we have more than 1,300 active investors that have invested, provided us with the loans for our development project. So, so that's that. That's for the first year.
Yeah, it seems like it was a good year, and we have
It
seen a
was a
lot
good
of
year,
we've seen a lot of cashback campaigns during this first year. Do you plan to launch more campaigns in the future to help investors earn an extra returns, or is something that was just for the first year?
To be honest, and I mean completely honest, we are about to launch a new campaign very soon. So I think we will make like a public announcement about this. So I would suggest just to keep your eyes open and to look for news when it's available. But yes, we're planning to launch more.
Okay. So right now, the minimum investment every time we invest is 1,000 euros, right?
Yes.
Investors, we don't have any fees. We don't have to pay any fees to DEVON for anything we do in the platform. And you launched last year, in the first year, there's no secondary market, but you have early exit. Could you explain us a bit more about early exit? How does that work?
Specifically about the early exit, it means like in case you want to exit from the project where you have provided your funds, and so basically you make a request that you want to take your funds out. Once that's done, the project will appear as one of the projects where funding is being gathered. So in overall, you will receive your withdrawal once there is somebody else who is willing to take your place in the loan. So, sorry, that's exactly how early exit works. And also for the time once the project is being launched, there is a restriction for the early exit upon which it becomes available after a certain time. But yeah, it depends on every project. It's the term is different, but yeah, it's like several months. And after that, investors or lenders are able to ask to request early exit whenever they are willing to. But in general, it was like 2-3 days during which you might expect to get your funds back.
And DEVON right now is not regulated. Why is that? And are there any plans to seek a license in the future?
Well, licensing is something that we discuss. That's a topic that we touch regularly, mainly due to the fact that, yes, we are not regulated. We had thoughts about obtaining crowdfunding platform. But in this case, this breaks the whole idea behind the DEVON, simply due to the fact that if we obtain crowdfunding platform license, then we are restricted into providing funds to our own project. And that's exactly one thing that we are gathering the financing for. And this actually breaks the whole idea why DEVON is in the first place. But in overall, yes, regulation and compliance is something that we view as a must-have, and we are still having an active discussion about what to do in this regard, because we want to be fully compliant with the law. We want for our lenders to feel secure that we are compliant with the law and everything that comes along with it. We just want to make sure that our lenders would feel that their funds are secure. Yeah, and also if we would need them to obtain regulation in order to move forward, of course, that's something we would do. But for now, the closest thing that we were looking into was the crowdfunding platform, and as explained earlier,
Doesn't apply.
It doesn't apply. And also, we have received a legal opinion from the law office that acknowledged that we actually don't need it. Simply because we are gathering funds only for our own projects. That's like a private lending platform.
Going back to your projects, there is a question I would like to ask is about rebuilt modular systems.
Oh, yes. Yeah, the rebuilt modular systems is a part of our group, not part of DEVON, but yes, part of our group. And recently, we also we announced that we have fully commissioned those low-rent houses, which is like a 5-story buildings with 54 units that are available for rent. Yes, it's a 5-story building. And that was built by the with the modules that were manufactured by the rebuilt modular systems. And those modules are like the Lego pieces that we manufacture off-site, and then we transport them to the construction site, and we put them together. So it's like one floor we can put within a day. And something like that can, I hope, will be something that our lenders can witness. Because for the next week, we're planning to do this for the Mero Garden project. That's something we're planning to do. First, for the first part of the building, the modules, yes, will arrive the next week. And since we have like a live feed camera, everyone is invited to view the process as it happens. So it's going to be quite fast because yes, one floor will be put within a day. The second floor in the next day, and third floor by the third day.
Are all the projects that does MGL are built with rebuilt modular systems?
Honestly speaking, not all of them. For example, Amber Park was not. The Villa Astor project was. Mara Garden is also going to be reproduced this way. And just recently, we also launched an update about change of plans for the Dunte Park. Uh, it's also it's also a very big project for us. But since it's going to have like 7 floors, this is not something we can build with the modules from the Revolt modular systems, due to the fact that we mainly use wood as the main material for those modules. So if we want to go like above 5 floors, we would need something more rigid. That's like either concrete or steel. So this is like a construction limitation for us. But for future, of course, we are considering what we can improve on from our side just to make it better.
Let's go back to Devon and tell us a bit, what are your goals for 2026 and for the future?
For the future, well, from the immediate outlook, I can tell you that we are looking to, of course, fulfill all the projects we currently have. Of course, we are looking to to acquire new projects and put them on the DEVON platform, which of course would provide even more opportunities to earn some additional income for our lenders. Of course, we're looking into this, but of course, there is a limited amount of projects that fit our criteria. So yeah, but in terms of growing, we hope that we could increase up to 20 million in total funds for the DEVON. It's not very ambitious. I would say it's not like we're looking to scale 4 or 5 times within a year. That's not something we want to do because, as I said, the amount of projects that we can do and we are willing to do is quite limited. And that also mainly is tied to the amount we would need. We're not looking to raise more than we would need, obviously. But in general, yes, we would want to expand our project portfolio and, of course, to fulfill the existing ones.
What do you think Devon is different from other real estate crowdlending platforms?
Where we are different, I think it's mainly tied to the thing that we are raising the funds only for our own project, which we own control, for which we are responsible, and for which we also take the responsibility to repay them back. This means that once the funding is gathered for the whole project, it means that we are closely monitoring the progress on it. And it's not that we are just like, okay, that's done, let's do that, let's do another one. So instead, we are looking to be a bit more pragmatic in this sense, so that we can just manage everything together as an MGL group as a whole. It's not like we're just raising funds for the sake of raising.
And what would you say to someone that is considering investing in Devon for the first time?
For the first time, I would say that the main thing is that it's about the overall business that we're doing. We are actually building something. We're not speculating. There is a real asset being built. This is something like tangible. And this is also something that we intend to share with our lenders via Telegram group so that they can view the ongoing progress which we have for each project. They can see that the funds are actually working there, that the building is actually being built. And that's the important part. Of course, we will handle everything till the end, till the new tenants are being given the keys to their new homes. Of course, we will handle everything till that. And of course, once that's being done, we will repay the funds in full. And for us, the trust is something that we value the most. And therefore, we honor our obligations for all.
Thank you, Toms. I don't know if there is something else that you would like to add.
Well, something that I would like to add. Well, currently it's a bit freezing outside, but I would invite anyone who is willing to visit our construction sites. I cannot guarantee that there will be an opportunity to go to view it from the inside, but from the outside, for all our projects, the address is there, and you can also view it. But as I said, it's a quite cold bit here. But even though it's like end of the May,
but
it
Latvia
still is what it is.
It's a beautiful country anyway, even if it's cold. It's a beautiful,
country, yeah. But unfortunately, we cannot compare with the temperature you have in Spain.
That's true.
You just cannot.
Thank you very much, Tons, for being here and answer all our questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carmen, for inviting. Thank you.
Now that you know more about Devon, if you want to start investing, you will find a link below in the description. If you sign up through that link, you will get a welcome bonus of 1% of everything you invest during the first 60 days. Plus, you can benefit from all the cashback campaigns they temporarily offer. Check below in the description of this video what campaign is active right now. And if you have any questions or doubts, let me know in the comments below. You know I reply to all your comments. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, give it a thumbs up. It really means a lot to me and helps the channel grow. I invite you to join our Telegram community where you can share experiences and opinions with other investors. And I'd also like to invite you to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on more interesting videos about investing. See you very soon.